Good morning. This is Paul Oman coming to you live from the News Minute, and I'm in Hyderabad. Every morning we would be coming to you live. In fact, not only morning, it's a new initiative in which at 10:30 on Twitter we would be coming live, and following which we would be coming live on Facebook, and in the evening at around 6:30 we would be coming live. And this initiative is called TNM News in a Nutshell. So in around 5 minutes, we would be giving you the latest updates from all the South Indian states. Let's start off with Kerala. 11,400 people have been moved to around 400 relief camps. Rains continue to pound Kerala. In fact, heavy rains have been predicted today, and this is because of a low pressure that has been formed. 7 districts red alert has been sounded, that is Kasaragod, Kannur, Wayanad, Idukki, Kozhikode, Malappuram and Alappuzha. 7 of these districts red alert has been sounded by the IMD, and since the last 4 days in Wayanad and Idukki we are seeing very heavy rainfall. Orange alert has been issued to Kollam, Pathanamthitta, Kottayam, Ernakulam, Thrissur and Palakkad. Fishing has not been allowed, so the fishermen have been asked not to venture out into the waters. In southern Kerala, we are seeing waterlogging in several areas, and the Mullaperiyar Dam water levels have risen to 135.5 feet. 4 shutters of the Pamba Dam have been opened up, and this has made authorities actually sound an alert in Rani area, because last year Rani was one of the areas which is heavily flooded. It had seen the devastation of the Kerala floods. So high alert sounded there. Landslides are being reported in Vandi Periyar and Idukki. Again, officials have sounded an alert there. And the good news from Kerala is that by evening, they're expecting the rains to actually subside. And hopefully, it will avoid a flood-like situation that we saw last year. Moving on quickly to Andhra Pradesh. A brutal story of a man beheading his son-in-law coming to light from East Godavari. This incident happened on Sunday morning. His daughter, the man's daughter, had actually committed suicide 10 months ago, but the parents believed the son-in-law was in fact responsible for that particular death, and an argument broke out about who would take care of the children, and the son-in-law said he wanted to get married again. That is when the issue got actually very serious, and the father-in-law ended up killing the son and severing his head, and with the head the father-in-law walked up to the Annavaram police station in East Godavari and surrendered. So that's one brutal news coming to light. Another one from Andhra Pradesh. 743 employees so far in the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthan temple. They've actually tested positive. And on June 11th, the temple was opened up. 743 in total tested positive, out of which 402 have recovered, which is a very high number. Thankfully, 402 have recovered. 338 of them who are undergoing treatment presently are lodged at the various houses that have been particularly put aside for them. That is Srinivasam, Vishnu Nivasam and Madhavam. And out of the total of 743, 3 employees of TTD have actually lost their lives. A quick update from Telangana. The Director of Public Health and Family Welfare has warned in a circular about hospitals and private COVID care centers. They have to have fire safety norms after what we saw yesterday in Vijayawada, where 10 lives were lost in a fire at Swarna Palace Hotel. Telangana has stepped up and it said we are issuing a directive saying all the hospitals which are functioning as COVID care centers have to have fire safety norms in place. So that's a positive thing. National Building Code says that anything taller than 15 meters should have a permit, and lesser than that should have fire safety equipment. Quick update, 740 tons of ammonium nitrate from Chennai, that is 37 containers were there stored in Chennai. That was a consignment which was worth almost 1.8 crores and was imported by Sri Amman Chemicals in 2015. It was seized because he did not have permission. It was he claimed it was fertilizer grade chemical, but it was actually explosive grade chemical. Now that is being moved to Hyderabad after in an auction a private firm bought that particular consignment. So 180 tons, that is almost 10 containers, have been moved to Hyderabad, and in the subsequent days, in the following days, we will be seeing more number of containers actually reaching Hyderabad in Telangana. An update from Karnataka. A TOEFL-like Kannada language test is being planned in the state. The good news is that it is not mandatory, but it is for encouraging Kannada language. It will take another 2 to 3 months to be implemented, is what the Kannada Development Authority are saying, and it will help all those who are studying and working in Karnataka, is what the authorities are saying. What they are saying is that they will not get into any court hassles or legal issues because the new education policy that has been introduced emphasizes a lot on mother tongue, and they're saying this is in line with the new education policy. We're only encouraging the mother tongue. So that's an update. Another good news coming in from Karnataka. 20-year-old man whose name was Toppanna, who was a shepherd, has been rescued from Yadgir district of Karnataka. He had actually walked over a stream and gone to an island for grazing his cattle, and then that is when the water levels went up suddenly after the Narayanpur dam was opened up, and the walkable stream it became furious. The flow had suddenly almost went up that he couldn't cross that river and go back to where he had come from. NDRF in Hyderabad was actually summoned. 16 people team, that is a 16 member team, rushed to Yadgir, and they reached late in the night. They couldn't carry out the rescue operation. So overnight, the man was stranded in the island. And then early in the morning at around 5 o'clock, the team went there in 2 boats and rescued the man. So that's a positive update coming in from Karnataka. From Tamil Nadu, a quick update. Paul Durai, a policeman who was arrested in the Shantankulam custodial death of Jairaj and Benix, he has died due to COVID. He was a special sub-inspector and he was admitted to the Madurai Government Rajaji Hospital. On July 8th, Paul Durai and 4 others were arrested by the CBCID, and judicial custody he was sent to in Madurai Central Jail on July 14th. It was on July 24th that he tested positive for coronavirus. We are picking up from sources that he had diabetes and heart disease problems, and that is why due to the comorbidities, I beg your pardon, he succumbed to COVID. So those are the updates coming in from the 5 states. We are hoping that you will tune in every morning at 10:30 on Twitter, and following which we will come live on Facebook, and in the evening 6:30 on Twitter, after which we will come live on Facebook. These are the updates as part of our new initiative called as TNM News in a Nutshell. In around 5 to 6 minutes, we'll bring you the latest from all the South Indian states. This is Pauloman signing off, wishing you a beautiful day ahead.